Hello, everybody. It's Gary Stuckey here. Welcome back to another episode of Steve Perry News. I was just looking through some articles, going through some old things, about Steve Perry and today's date, which is March the 2nd, and I kind of looked around at that day. What was special on this day in history, maybe, with Steve Perry and Journey? I don't know. But I found this article from the Sun Sentinel down in South Florida. It was dated March 10th, 1995. And earlier in that week, it had talked about a cancellation of a concert with Steve Perry for his for the Love of Strange Medicine tour down in South Florida. He had canceled it, but the paper was talking about, what does this have to do with Journey? Steve got sick. He had like a respiratory infection, like the crud, the flu or something. He wasn't feeling too good. And people that went to the concerts realized this. There have been people talk about it over the years. He was sick, and he sang anyway, and he sounded great. And that's a known fact, of course. But is there more to the story? Because according to this article, which I'll put in the description of the video, a link to it. In the article, it says that they contacted Neil Schon, and he said that the record label told Steve to come off the road in support of the Journey reunion that was about to happen. And at that point, now this is in March, and at that point, Neil Schon is already talking about Steve had agreed for a Journey reunion. They had a meeting. Apparently, Journey has a meeting every year around the beginning of March. That's just what it seems to be. I mean, it seems every time I read about a meeting, it's around the 1st of March. I guess right after Neil and John's birthday. I don't know. But according to this article, though, like I said, Steve was sick, but the management, the record label, actually, Columbia Records, which they both, Journey and Steve were on the same record label. And I'm sure there's other parts and more to this story, but that probably influenced Steve's decision to go ahead and do some things, because he wasn't feeling well. But so when he took that time off, it gave him some time to think. But I guess what wasn't said is the record company may have been kind of pressuring him, and saying, hey, if we're going to do this, you can't go on tour anymore. You can't be on tour. So maybe that's why he just made that final decision to not add any more dates or tour anymore later that year or anything like that. And I do know that they started recording for Trial by Fire that year. I just didn't realize it was that soon, back in March. So, and like I said, according to Neil in this article, read the whole article and let me know what you think. It's pretty interesting. And I posted it online. I think I posted it on the Steve Perry group page, and there's a lot of people going, he's not going back. He's made up his mind. I'm thinking, this isn't about that. This is old news. This is an old article. I'm not even saying. So they see the name Steve Perry and Journey, and they naturally, get mad. And I've been thinking about that. I wonder, is there some kind of deep-seated kind of bitterness toward Neil and Jonathan Cain or some of the members? Maybe is it a protective mode to defend Steve? If you see anything about a reunion or Journey, like it has to come out and say, it's never going to happen, like this defense mode. I guess I just don't understand the defensiveness. I mean, I understand if you think a reunion is not going to happen. I get that. But if to say no, it's never going to happen, rather than saying I don't think it's going to happen, because if you say it's not going to happen, that would seem to be you're just omnipotent. You know everything. You know the future. If you say I think it's going to happen or I think it's not going to happen, yeah, I get that. But check out the article. It's in the description. And it, like I said, it just seems to me that Steve, based on his song, anyway, what was I saying? He was talking about Neil Schon and the gang, talking about Journey. He'd like to say he's sorry, like to make amends. And I guess they heard it, and then Steve called up, according to Steve, he called up Jonathan Cain. They had coffee, I guess, and talked it over, got up with Neil, and he said, something like, this is what the fans want to see, and it's something maybe we need to do, kind of the same boat we're in today, kind of the same reason I'd like to see it happen today. I mean, it's the same kind of boat, people on both sides have hurt each other, and I know it's an old, I guess, topic and discussion that I keep talking about, but it's just something that's on my mind, but this article is old. It's not about anything new. I didn't post it to stir up any reunion, news, but I just thought it was cool, that, I didn't know that it was that early in the game that Steve was going back to Journey and everything was kind of settled at that point, the first week in March of 1995. So, but anyway, hopefully there'll be some new news about Steve and Journey, and I'll let you know all about it. So stay tuned and keep it right here. Subscribe to this channel and share this this video with your friends, your Steve Perry and Journey friends. And until next time, everybody, whatever you do, don't stop believing. God bless you.